Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Finally, it feels like it's been forever since I've done a video, and it's only been like a day, and it feels like it's been forever since I've been live, and it's only been a couple days. So yeah, I've just been busy outside. So, crazy topic, exorcism. Within traditional witchcraft, yes, but not in a Christian framework whatsoever. This is pre-Christian. All of this is it's all pre-Christian. So this is just basically to get rid of any unwanted entities. It's not being possessed. It's none of that. It does not have anything to do with being infested with demons. Whatever a demon is. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. So. I'm a little much sometimes. I realize that. I'm a little much. I have a lot to say. So anyways, exorcism, and I think this is great. And it's just a little rite, so it's not nothing major. It could be. It could progress into something major, but if you do your preliminaries, like, your protection and all that stuff, you should be fine. We hope. So, alright, when we think of exorcism, we tend to think of the Christian rites for driving out the devil and his demons, what is a demon? Explain to me. Somebody explain to me what a demon is. I know the Latin word for it, helpful spirit. So, now he says here, Lee says, here I am to provide a workable practice for removing troublesome influences from a person or a dwelling within a non-Christian framework, thank the gods, using a combination of traditional formula. So, the first thing is required for one to undertake a successful exorcism is a talent in this area. So he says here, I cannot stress this enough. Necromancers are a particular type of witch, though any witch might make forays into necromancy. Not all will be equally gifted in it. I like it. I love necromancy. So the same goes for healing and exorcism. So exorcism is a kind of spiritual combat, and therefore tends to belong to witches of the Benedanti and Taltos type, the ecstatic sorcerers who battled for their community. So for this reason, exorcisms are best practiced on a Thursday. That's so much better than the Catholic Church. They're best performed on a Thursday. It was just so simple, nonchalantly, on a Thursday. So, the second thing that needs to be acknowledged is that we have to remove the weight of Christian baggage. It has to be removed. Movies and books about Christian exorcisms actually tend to present an implacable and terrifying enemy of a great and mysterious power. The devil and demons are a mystery to Christians, obviously. Part of a dark netherworld that they have no access to. But the witch's interaction with spirits is different, obviously, very different. Now, spirits of death, darkness, and disease are not a complete unknown to us. Obviously, they're not. There are spirits out there, just like humans. There are nice ones, and there's, not so nice ones. So all powers, no matter how dangerous, have a sacred and appropriate place in creation, so that this includes ones we do battle with, and things we kill and injure in self-defense, just as the Siberian shaman was initiated by the smallpox spirit. Wow, that's insane. I've never heard of that. And devoured by evil spirits, and in return gained some power and understanding of their world. The witch gains power over the realms of darkness by being part of that darkness. You've got to have the both. If you can't curse, you're not going to be able to heal. So you've got to, it's both ways in traditional craft. Do not allow yourself to be intimidated by a haunting or a possession. If you are intimidated, you are already half beaten. Nothing scares me anymore. Nothing spiritually yet. Watch, whoa. I better not say that, but yeah. So these spirits may be negotiated with, and you may be able to make them leave by offering them things in return for doing so. Do not ever undertake to clear a location forcefully if you are able to do it via negotiation. So, peacefully negotiate with the spirits, and if not, then you go to battle. You war. So, Now, disturbances requiring exorcism may be either centered on a person or a location. It's always the land for me. It's the land that has this, this stuff, this whatever, negative attachments. So, but where'd I go? By and large, the procedure is the same for both, in that you must begin by making contact with the entity or entities and finding out why they are there and what they want. So a pendulum may come in handy here to see that the person with the affliction may see the answers being given and feel part of the process. So no witch who doubts their ability to communicate with spirits ought to be undertaking an exorcism. So yeah, if you doubt any kind of, anything, any ability of yours to communicate with the dead, don't do it. So, now, in a case where the spirit cannot be convinced to depart with offerings, then the following formula can be used to force the removal of the entity. So, you can do spirit cages, the spirit trap, spirit cages. You can do witch balls. You can do all kinds of protection. You don't have to do exorcism. I mean, it doesn't, always come down to this. It's not that dire of a situation. So, now, have the person to be exorcised stand on a cross of salt drawn on the floor. Now, if the exorcism is on a location, place one of these equal-armed crosses in each corner of the house. Now, the witch is to have prepared a bundle of fern, pine, and rue into sort of a switch that is large enough to sweep over the person's body from head down towards the feet whilst they're speaking, or the extremities of the property when appropriate. So I have one for clearing negative energy. I think everybody knows that technique of sweeping, whoosh, whoosh. Yeah, everybody does. Even Vera Farmiga knows that one, and I love that. Alright, so now the witch should also be standing so as to be touching the salt with their foot, or have their salt in their shoes if moving around whilst this is performed. The witch says, "By the power of the Master and the Lady, and of my familiar spirit, X name, let this disease depart, and the spell of the evil spirits be broken. I abjure, I command you to depart from this man or woman, name him or her, out of this house, out of his bones, his blood, his veins, his joints. In the name of Grandmother Weaver, I pray. In the name of the holy fire, I abjure. In the name of the divine fire within, I command and I compel you to go back and leave this man free. It shall be done, it shall be done, it shall be done." It's very simple stuff. So, the last part is said with passion. I mean, obviously, you're going to put passion into it if you want, your stuff to work. So, now this is repeated over and over again, whilst a great fiery power or wrath is generated in the exorcist's body. That's raising your internal flame. So, it is the ability of the self-excitation in conjunction with the power of their familiar spirits that will determine the outcome of the exorcism. So we still have familiars going on here, which I like. So there will be a feeling of sudden weightlessness that might even make the exorcist feel dizzy when the spirit relinquishes its hold. Now, at this point, the words cease, and a hand-rolled tobacco cigarette or pipe must be produced. The witch then proceeds a battle that is corkable and has some alcoholic spirits inside it. Now, this witch blows the tobacco smoke down into the bottle whilst holding the bottle out near the body of the person being exorcised. Interesting, isn't it? It's a very, very, very Native American. You can definitely feel the hints of Native American magic and religion within this. So the smoke encourages the spirit to enter the bottle, that is then corked and thrown into the ocean or buried. So the spirit will of course get free of this bottle and afflict something else. So exorcism is a form of actual transferal of the ills to a place where they are unlikely to return and afflict the patient. But somebody else or something else or someone else is going to be afflicted by it. So, to slow down the spirit's ability to get free from the bottle, it can be filled with hundreds of grains of sand or multiple threads and hundreds of knots, so it confuses it and it has something to do inside the bottle. Now, the entity will then be forced to count each grain or knot before it will be able to get free. So, it should perhaps go without saying that nobody should go into an exorcism situation who is not feeling powered up. If you don't feel like you can handle it, don't do it. At all. And vigorous, and that the exorcist should first call their protective spirits and have upon them numerous talismans and protective items. So, it's not a matter of being actually possessed. I mean, there are parts of our ego and psychology that can, overtake our bodies, alter egos, so on and so forth. And, we have mental health these days, which is so important. So it's really about taking care of your own mental health first. Seeking doctors, psychiatrists, therapists, the right doctors to actually help you to assess your mental health. And then if all that comes back and you are completely 150,000% fine, then you go on and you do a little bit of an exorcism. But it's really, it's if you could negotiate, I mean, they are so easy to negotiate with. They are very easy. And some of them aren't, some of them are. But I mean, in my experience, yeah, the ones here, they're not negotiable. They're here. They stay here. And they're not evil. I mean, they're not all, horrible spirits. I mean, John Apple, the one that, shot his wife, then himself, I don't think, back and then, suicide was very, very frowned upon. I mean, it still is today, but I mean, when he did that, I think it's, they could possibly be afraid, because they were Christian. They were, religious Christian, him and his wife. And maybe they're afraid. Maybe that's why they have not left this property, because they have been taught and, brainwashed by the church that, suicide is, the ultimate sin. And, you won't go to heaven. You'll go straight to hell if you actually do that. So, I mean, that is a very good possibility of why they're still here. But, again, we don't get too much trouble for them. And it's nothing of an exorcism type, so it's just negotiating and just kind of coexisting with them. So it's all about coexisting with the other world that is right here, right now. No veil, none of that exists. I'm so sick of hearing people say that there's the veil, it's thinning. No, it's not. It's always here. Once you're touched by spirit, you're touched by spirit for life. You are literally, you peer into their world, our world, their world, same thing. We just can't see it. We just literally can't see it. So somebody could actually be touching my hand right now. I can't see it right now. Maybe a little I can feel it, but it's probably the little boy. Aww. But, yeah, so I don't know. It's just, mind-boggling. So there is definitely a really weird stigma around exorcism. So this is a traditional witchcraft way of getting rid of negative spirits and entities. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Witchy Wednesday. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I'll see you guys live here in just a little bit. And please be safe, stay healthy, all that good stuff. And I love you guys with all of my heart. All the way from Venus, all the way back down. I can never do my hearts right. Anyways, I love you guys. And I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you guys think. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow.